Welcome to Walking with Jesus Bible Study. We're going to be in the book of Psalms, chapter 95, verse 6. Oh, come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker. And I'll repeat that. Oh, come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker. When we bow before God spiritually and physically to show respect to God, we are worshiping Him. Because He is all-powerful, all-present, and all-knowing. He has the power to create heaven, earth. He is present in every moment, through every struggle. He is always available. He knows our past, present, and future. He protects our spirits at all costs. We worship God because we respect Him. We choose to serve, and we choose to love Him unconditionally. A lot of people have got a little bit mixed up on just what worshiping means. This generation and a few generations before just simply believe that singing songs is worshiping God. No, getting down and praying on your knees, praying is a form of worship. Putting God first is a form of worship. Not falling for our temptations, overcoming them, is worshiping God. See, when we sing, we're just singing praises to God. I made a video earlier today explaining just how we got it twisted and mixed up. But we can clearly see in many scriptures where they was said, I want you to bow down and worship me. Or when he was talking about don't worship false God. Because people were getting on their knees and was praying. That's worshiping. Singing songs is singing praise to the Lord. That's why you see many times in the book of Psalms, you say, sing it loud. Let's sing praise to the Lord. It's sing, sing, sing. Lift up your voice. Because that is singing praises. When it comes to worshiping, it says lift up your hands. Get on your knees. Bow down. See, even the people like King Nebuchadnezzar, Satan, when he told the people, you shall worship me, he said, get down and bow down and worship me. See, when you get on your knees and you bow your head, you're paying respect. You're saying you are above me. You're above all things. And I bow to you. That is worship. That's why we're not allowed to bow down before the gods. We're not allowed to bow down. We shouldn't even be bowing before kings and queens. Because they're not God. Bowing down before a king and queen is worshiping them. And I know it's going to piss a lot of people off over there in Europe. But I'm not here to please you. I'm here just to speak the truth. You should not be bowing down. You got a lot of foreign countries that still have kings and queens that they're saying that you should bow down before. You know, Mordecai wouldn't even bow down to, I forget his name, it starts with the H, but dang, what is his name? I just had it in my head, but when I went to go say it, it just went bleh. Nothing came out. My bad. But he wouldn't do it. Because it wasn't his God. And he didn't need to pay that respect to him. He didn't deserve the respect. Only God deserves our respect. Show God your respect. You know, worshiping him also includes things that when we are doing something And we know not to do those things because now we're walking with Christ and we don't do them anymore. That's a form of worship because we're putting God first. We're respecting Him. Like, you know what? I used to do those things like that, and I know better now, and I'm going to choose not to do those things. That's worshiping God. When anytime that you're placing Him first, anytime that you're walking in the Spirit, you're placing God above yourself. When you are no longer doing the things that you considered and that you normally would have done, but now that you see that it's wrong, and you're choosing God over yourself, when you're choosing God over the things of this world, when you're choosing God, you are worshiping God. Not every time you pray do you have to be on your hands and knees. You can pray while walking. There's all kinds of ways that you can sit there and pray. I've been taking a shower, something crumbling across my mind, but I'm like, oh, I need to pray for that. And let me go ahead and pray now before I forget. So I want to just scribble myself. I'll say a prayer while I scribble myself. And after a while, I had to think about it. I was like, God, is that wrong? Because, I'm kind of naked and I'm all scribbling myself. And why should I be coming into your presence and praying like that in that form? But God sees everything. He knows everything. He already knows what I look like naked. He created me. But to get down on your hands and knees, bowing down, showing Him that respect, humbling yourself. Being humble is a form of worship. Because, see, nobody's better, nobody's higher than God. And when we bow down, we are humbling ourselves and saying, you are the best. You are. No one's higher than you. And see, there's just too many people who have wealth and stuff. The reason why they won't get into heaven is not because they're wealthy. It's because of their pride, the high statue. They don't think that they need to humble themselves. They don't think they need to worship God. They won't bow down before because they think that they are on a high seat. But nobody's higher than God. And see, that's why they won't be able to enter. It's not because they're wealthy. It's because they don't know how to be humble. They don't know how to worship God. So that's why it says you can't serve two masters, because you can't worship one and worship the other. You can only worship the one. See, if you're sitting there caught up in the love of your money, the love of your wealth, you're worshiping it. You're no longer worshiping God. You're not going to be humble. So there's people who know how to humble and have wealth at the same time. They know how to worship God and place God above their money and place God above themselves. They know how to be humble. And see, a lot of people are preaching that it's a sin to be wealthy. It's a sin to have money. Those people are just saying that because they're just jealous because they ain't got no money. But the truth of it is, you can have money and get into heaven. You can be wealthy and be a humble person and place God above everything else in your life. And see, maybe they didn't. This is probably the main reason why God is not even going to bless them with such a thing, is because they will no longer be humble. Because they're already being greedy and is already being jealous of the people who already have money. So if they was to get money, they would totally lose themselves. They would totally lose God in their life. Because they're already green with envy, green with jealousy. We got to remember to always be humble, to always place God first. Worship Him, for He is worthy to be worshipped.